Welcome back everyone to Montgomery County's Engage at Home, brought to you by the county's Caregiver Support Program. Today our guest is Robin Riley, who is the Director of the county's Recreation Department. Welcome Robin, and could you please introduce our audience to Recreation, Montgomery County? Tell us about it.
Sure, I'd be happy to. I'll tell you a little bit about me first. It'll show you a little bit of a background of where I've come from. So I started in 1981 with Montgomery County Recreation, and believe it or not, as a seasonal temporary employee. I was fresh out of college and I worked a couple years doing that kind of work, filling in, doing lots of different things. It was a great experience for me to learn lots of different aspects of the department and all the things that we offer. And then over the last 30 plus years, I've done a lot more of that in terms of different roles and functions. I worked for many years in sports. Then I moved into special events. Then I moved into leadership and management. And then I was very fortunate to be offered the opportunity to finish my career, I'll say, at least this career, as the proud director of the Montgomery County Recreation Department. So I'm really thrilled to have this opportunity, really proud of the work that we've done the last few months, as well as for 30 plus years as well. So it's been exciting
Wonderful.
For us.
And it's so good to have someone who really knows the county's recreation portfolio, because it is very broad and it goes from children, older adults, teens, working professionals, people who are involved in therapeutic recreation. I'm sure I've left half a dozen things out. Yep. It is big.
It is very big, and it's very fluid and dynamic and changes all the time as our community has started to change. You know, for many years we're much more demographic wise now in terms of offering programs and services for a wide group of residents in a county-wide basis. So we offer everything from newborn babies with music classes and tiny tot swimming all the way up to seniors. We actually have a couple of seniors that are in our aquatics programs pre-COVID that were 100 years old and doing deep water exercise and fitness classes, which we're excited to see and be a small part of helping them stay healthy and connected to us. So it is a big portfolio, and you pretty much nailed all the different aspects of it. There's still lots behind the scene that support all that work. To a really amazing IT department, business admin team that really supports and is the foundation for everything the rest of our team does, and delivering a broad range of services for our county.
Excellent. I've been both a consumer of Montgomery County Recreation and partnered as a fellow employee, and I'd have to say I'm always impressed. And one of the things that for folk who haven't been, at the moment we're not going to recreation centres, but the county has been investing a lot of infrastructure development over the last number of years.
Yeah, absolutely. We just opened pre-COVID a fantastic facility in Wheaton, which is one of the newest models that we've ever done before, which is a Wheaton recreation and library in the same building. It provides a lot of unique opportunities. It has a walking track, it has an amazing social hall and dance room, but it also gives us an opportunity to engage with library services in a different way for both young people as well as seniors. Reading a book and listening to a book as they walk around the track. We were just starting to get engaged in some of those collaborative programs and ideas when unfortunately the pandemic hit, but we're storing them and we're ready to bring them back as soon as we can get the doors open again.
Absolutely. Now, that's a good segue, because I know that the recreation team have not been out for vacation. You have probably been working harder than you were expecting to be working over the last 5 months. So what about if you step our audience through how COVID has changed your programming and how you and the team have really applied yourselves to create new resources for folks?
Absolutely, be happy to. I'm really proud to talk about some of it. So I've always talked about the fact that our buildings are community rec centers, and the community is the key word in that element, although obviously our passion is recreation. But in times like this, we certainly step forward in that community element and really provide a broad array of services to our residents. So when COVID hit, as a couple of quick examples, our senior team, we have a broad range of facilities and programs for seniors. And we knew that a lot of our seniors rely on the hot meals and the meals that are delivered to them at the rec centers as really a source of nutrition, as well as the social engagement piece. But we knew there were some that was critically important to their wellness. So our team really worked collectively with HHS and a good community partner, JCA, to quickly turn around and step up a meal delivery program. So today, as we've been 5 months or so into this thing, we are delivering meals twice a week on Mondays and Wednesdays to over 700 seniors. They get a box of frozen food that has 7 meals in it, and they get a box of produce. We've also been able to step up and through great partnerships and great donations, been able to provide some wraparound opportunities in terms of toiletries, paper goods, pet food, in case a senior has any critical needs that we can also deliver. So we have some seniors who will drive through who have access to a car. They can swing through and pick it up on those days of the week, but otherwise we are delivering door to door. We do it safely. We have a great group of COVID Core, which are young people who is their employment opportunity for the summer. There are runners. So we have a staff person who will drive a truck, a van, a bus, drive to a senior's home, call them, say, hey, we're outside, deliver the meals to the front door. The produce box is very robust. It's 25 pounds. It's through a grant through Montgomery County Public Schools. It's fantastic. It has, I've seen them personally, so they can have everything from pineapples to potatoes to cabbage to lettuce to peaches, nectarines. It's fantastic. And the seniors just love getting that as a sort of as a treat. So that's just one area where our team has been involved in helping sort of support our community. We have a lot of staff who started actually this morning. We have a group of about 24 staff who are working for the Board of Elections. And for those of us like myself, and I hopefully lots of others watching and listening from home, sent in their application to get a mail-in ballot. So they don't have to go in person. And our staff are up there doing the data entry and helping the Board of Elections in this really critical time to process all that. There is a huge backlog and they were very short-handed. And so they reached out and asked, and our staff who normally would be on admin leave or home and not have meaningful work stepped right into the job. And they're there. Some of them are working even overtime, Saturdays and Sundays, helping process all the paperwork to get that out so that folks don't have to vote in person if they choose not to. And apparently there's a good crowd that do not wish to do that. So that's fantastic. We have a large group of our employees doing lots of things around COVID testing. So we are using many of our facilities. We have about 6 that are used for COVID testing. So we open up our buildings 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days a week. And anybody, whether they can just walk in and get a free COVID test done. And our staff are not only opening the buildings, but they're supporting the work of Health and Human Services, the school health nurses, and others in providing that testing. And that means everything from directions and paperwork and registration, and just really supporting them in any way that we can. We have a large group of employees, I think we're up to about 30, who are working from home on food access hotline and rental assistance hotline. So they manage tickets where a really vulnerable senior adult family who is in critical need of food or resources can call into the hotline. Our staff take that information and then help them find the resources and connect them to things that will support them in terms of needs, critical needs that they might have. They're telling some really compelling stories. Many of them, are passionate about our work and our community, and many I just heard a couple of stories last week when I sat on a call where they felt so compelled to support this group or this family that they actually went to the grocery store themselves, bought groceries, and delivered them to the house. Just because they couldn't turn it around fast enough through the other resources, and they wanted to make sure this family had something because they had small children. But so great emotional stories like that are really proud moments for us and the work of our staff. We have other staff who are working food distribution. We have programs that we work with local community partners, faith-based organizations called Grab and Go, where residents can, on a Saturday, get in line and drive through, open their trunk, their back door, and we will put in, again, frozen meats, dry goods, produce, again, pet foods, and really distribute those out to families of great need in vulnerable communities. And so we have a large cohort of staff that are doing that. Meanwhile, back in the recreation world, we have a core group of staff who are working behind the scenes to really build out virtual classes. It was relatively new to us. So getting that Zoom license and getting comfortable with processing it, how it was going to work on the back end, working with our contractors, providers to deliver those services. And we've really started to build out a really amazing framework of virtual classes. Then also coupled with that, we have of staff who have been delivering a program called Rec Without Walls. It's basically outdoor recreation in different communities, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays and Sundays. And it's basically outdoor fitness, wellness, both for young people as well as families, as well as seniors. In different communities, we do everything safely, so we can take up to 50. So we've had a wide variety of things, from Tai Chi to line dancing to, last Saturday I was at a Build It workshop over at Holiday Park, and there was parents, grandparents with young people building the little airplane kit from Home Depot. And the family got to use it at their own table with all the instructions, all the tools, and then they could paint it. And they got to go home with it, which was exciting.
That's cool.
We've done paint and sip programs, sipping being frozen ice, not the other kind of sipping. And those have been packed. Every one of them have been full. So families and everybody in the community and neighborhood are coming out on a Friday or Saturday night, getting a free paint lesson, and walking away with some ice cream at the end of the night. So it's been exciting trying to build out some of these classes that are different, not our traditional classes. We've always had we've always done it that way kind of philosophy in certain things. And so we're really starting to think creatively and different. I don't know if you know what foosball is.
Yes.
Yep. So we did, staff did a lot of research and came up with a really cool idea to do human foosball. And so we did it on a soccer field, and it was a group of ladies ranging from 24 to 68 that came out the first night, and you were in a square and you could not leave your square. To kick the ball. So you had to be strategic about where you kick the ball to play both offense and defense, because you could not move out of your square.
Yeah.
But they loved it, and it grew and grew and grew. And we wound up having, I think, 12 teams.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's been exciting to really, I've always been a change agent. I love things that are different and changing all the time. So it's been exciting for me in this crazy world to really build out some things that we are different that we've ever done before, and think creatively. So it's been exciting. Our other staff have been, our aquatics team was amazing. We have 4 indoor pools and we have 7 outdoor. When this whole thing started, we weren't sure whether we could even open pools. But they're very passionate about their work, and they were out in March at the outdoor pools, cleaning decks, cleaning furniture, getting ready as if we were going to open on Memorial Day weekend. Of course, we didn't, but we were ready. And when we finally got the word that we could open, they were so prepared. They had a model in place to do sessions, so families could sign up for a 2-hour session online, and they could come in from 12 to 2, and then we would exit everybody out. We'd clean and wipe the surfaces down, bring in another group from 3 to 5. And so on and so on. The same for lap swimming, which a lot of folks are very passionate about.
Exactly.
A lot of passionate swimmers. And lap swimming is a source of wellness and fitness. They were prepared and had us ready the aquatics team, to launch lap swimming at both the indoor pools as well as the outdoor pools. Some of our traditional classes we weren't able to do, but we reworked a few of them and got, we have a lazy river at Martin Luther King Outdoor Pool. And
What's
so
a lazy river?
uh,
What is a lazy river?
in
Yeah.
a normal world, it would be you get in a tube at an entry point, and it has a current, and you really just float around a concrete river.
Oh, wow.
And come back to the same space, and then you get out and hand your tube to the next person, and then they float around the lazy river. Because the tube was a touch surface, technically we can't open the lazy river, but staff did a wellness class where folks show up in the morning and they walk against the current.
Yes.
As a form of exercise.
That's perfect.
Yeah, so we've been very creative, imaginative, and nimble, and sort of just creating new ideas and trying them. And if they didn't work, we try something a little different the next time. So I think overall our program teams have done an amazing job, and our support network of IT and business services have created new technologies to pay our vendors, pay our instructors, pay our staff, without ever leaving their home or coming into the traditional paper environment,
yes.
Which has been fantastic. And we have some new processes in place that will go on post-COVID and make us better and stronger as a result of it. So it's been exciting. That's a lot. I should probably stop and let you ask me questions. But we're excited about being able to do a few more things and get a little bit more flexibility and making sure everybody stays safe. We're starting to have a little bit of a discussion about out of school time programs.
Yes.
We're talking about how to bring people back into our building safely when we can, in small groups, just because that connection is a much as a factor in wellness, as well as doing something fit and getting your heart rate going. That heart rate around making a connection with somebody you remember and know is just as important too.
Exactly. And one of the things that really struck me was many months ago that Montgomery County Recreation created that virtual rec room.
Yep.
And, it was at a time when you were just experimenting with how to do this, but your team was able to, similar to what I do with Engage at Home, scan the horizons, what's out there already, but then you started having both the free and the traditional paid recreation classes.
Yep. Yeah, they've been fantastic. And I think, they've done a remarkable job really working with our instructors and our providers and really supporting them, making them feel comfortable that it was going to be okay in this new world, and actually coaching and leading them to do virtual classes, because many had not before. So they did a few trial runs, a few demos, and really made sure everybody was comfortable with it. And I think a few of our yoga classes wound up having more in the virtual class than we did in the traditional class that we would have had, in a rec center. So that's great when you can jump out of your car or your bedroom and take a yoga class,
Exactly.
So it's been phenomenal.
And that's one of the things that I've heard from a lot of providers, is that they're actually seeing more participation because that barrier of having to leave the house, maybe leave a loved one at home if they're, a caregiver, and they're able to fit it into their day, whether it's a live class that they're in or it's something that is pre-recorded so they can pick up at any point.
Right. No, absolutely. I could not agree with you more. I think, it's been critically important to the families who can't, because they are a caregiver. They couldn't traditionally leave and take a class, and now they can actually include their loved one in the class. Even if it's on a limited scope basis, they can help support them where they might not otherwise have done that. So that part's been exciting too.
Very much so. And we know that many of our caregivers are within the multi-generational environment. They may still have kids at home, they've got their own immediate family, and then they're oftentimes caring for parents or other older relatives or friends. And recreation is that big link between health and wellness for everyone, not just the caregiver, not just the older adult or the kids. It's this shared both physical, psychological benefit, but also that emotional, that
Oh,
clear
absolutely.
emotional.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said that better. I mean, I had a conversation recently with a person whose mom has dementia and will be coming to live with her in the next couple of weeks. And she also has 2 young kids at home. And her concern about virtual learning for her kids and caregiving for her mom, and she's stressed out beyond belief. And we had a conversation about taking care of yourself, even if it meant you just went into the bedroom for a minute or for 20 minutes and you took, you know, a mindfulness class or a yoga class, even if it was just for a few minutes, just to have that escape for yourself, because that will benefit everyone in the end if you're healthy as well.
Thank you. And it sounds like your team has really had to double down on this whole area of making sure people get enough food, they have enough nutrition, they have, you know, like you said, paper goods, things for their pets if need be.
Yep.
And this is a huge expansion. You know, we know our recreation centres had meal sites that people would come, but this has been a whole infrastructure change,
It
and
is.
it sounds like you and your team have really stepped up to that.
Yeah, I'm super proud of them. I mean, when it first happened, you know, they sprung into action and really delivered the services that many seniors really critically needed. Now, as we've been in this for a while, I love the fact that they are starting to expand their thinking so that I'm not sure if you saw it on our social media platform. Our mascot is T-Rex. It's a big dinosaur, T-Rex, R-E-C. They actually had our dinosaur deliver meals just as a sense of fun and social engagement.
My goodness.
The senior. We're being nimble. We're delivering them stretch bands with wrapped around it or instructions on how to use it safely. We're talking, you know, we're trying to get them information and deliver to them along with the meals, anything that can just spark their interest and energy around something new and different. Whether it's an exercise class, a virtual class that, you know, there's a couple of virtual classes coming. There's a senior town hall tomorrow night. We're including that in our delivery to make sure that they're staying connected with us in different ways. You know, we have a large group of our senior staff who are actually calling and making connections to seniors to make sure they're okay, just having a conversation with a senior, like, and they have a topic each time they call just to stay socially connected, because we know many are isolated.
Yeah.
And so we've done a lot of really fun, cool things in a very awkward time.
Yeah, very much so. Just thinking about that, you've probably gained a really huge insight to what is of benefit to someone who may be feeling isolated. I'm going to be putting up the web links to all of the programming that Montgomery County's Recreation offers. But where do you think would be a good place, like if someone is an older adult, where do you think would be a good place to start for them to just get their feet a little wet?
Yeah. That's a great question. I mean, the answer to it is in a lot of different places. I mean, we have a fantastic customer service team right now. So even if they just wanted to call 240-777-6840, we have a core group of staff that answer that phone. It will also direct them to an emergency number during the weekends. And our staff can redirect them to all the resources that they need, whether it's just for fun stuff or important stuff. But our webpage has a lot of great information. We're about to revamp it again this week and add all of our fall program and elements into that. We have a new manager, Sarah Swar, for our senior programs. She's very much connected to our countywide program team, that is our therapeutics group and our fitness and wellness and senior trip program. And she's going to be rebuilding all of our senior pages and adding a lot more rich components there. So I think that you're welcome to call me. I love talking to anybody. And my number is 240-777. Well, I'm going to give you my cell, 240-876-0134. Happy to help and talk and connect people to services and really cool things that we're doing, as well as a lot of our great community partners. Your website is fantastic as well. Some of the YouTube things I've watched incredible. So I mean, I think good partnerships like this is critically invaluable to our residents.
Oh, excellent. And I'll put those phone numbers and the web links on the description for this episode on Engage at Home.
Awesome. Thank you. I would love that.
Robin, you've talked about how the recreation team have done an excellent job with pivoting to make sure that folk, even though they can't come in centre, they're able to access food, they're able to get essential supplies. Can people still sign up for that program?
Sure. We have a list of around 700, and we do have a waiting list, but I can tell you that that list that we have for the deliveries is very dynamic. It changes all the time. People are finding resources in other places. They might be moving in with a family member who's able to take care of them. So they'll call and drop off the list. So we're always adding people to the list. And as resources become available, we add additional ones. So if you're interested, you can certainly call us, call any of our staff, and I can give you the number to call if you want. It's 240-460-2236. That's Dolores. She's one of our lead rec specialists for seniors, and she would be more than happy to make sure you get added to the list and stay connected. And you can also, if it's a critical need around food, you can call 311 from the county, and they'll connect you with food access hotline. And there are amazing resources that the county has ramped up around the county, whether these food hubs and other grab and go things that are great resources for those in critical need.
Excellent, thank you. And I really do encourage folk to do that. And I'll include all of these numbers in that description with
Awesome.
Engage at Home.
Great.
So we are at the end of our time today with our interview. You've mentioned your new manager of senior programming, Sarah. I'd love to have you both back on the show and we can do an interview really devoted to older adults and the new direction that Sarah is going to work with you to take the program.
Awesome. Yeah, I would love that. And I know she would too. She's very creative and imaginative, and we have a great team behind her. So we're excited about the places we can go with this team.
Excellent. Thank you. So before we go, do you have any words of wisdom for our audience?
Well, I wish I had a crystal ball to let us know when this thing is going to end and post-COVID and we can all get back to some level of normalcy. But I think for me, the words of wisdom would be just to be safe, be well, take advantage of lots of opportunities that the county has available through your website, as well as mine, to stay healthy and connected. And if you need resources around that, please reach out to me or reach out to any of my team, and we would love to help you. I know it's been challenging for everybody, but there's been a lot of I think some great benefits to it as well. I mean, we've learned a lot personally on a personal level. I've learned a lot about myself and staying healthy and well and walking more and connecting with my neighbors. And I hope everybody's doing that as well.
Wonderful. So I want to thank you. It's been a really great time to have an interview with you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So I want to wish all of our viewers well. You have been part of the Engage at Home, brought to you by Montgomery County's Caregiver Support Program. And please stay calm.